Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, back at y'all with another live, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope y'all had a great day overall, man. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We currently need to discuss what's going on in the boxing world. We're going to talk about Berinchyk pushing Keyshawn Davis at the weigh-ins, man. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about Alexander Usyk possibly fighting Pereira, you know what I mean, at the end of his career. And Floyd Schofield accusing Shakur Stevenson of steroid use, or at least insinuating that he may be on some type of steroids. You feel what I'm saying? We definitely gonna talk about it. But shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. If you guys can hit the like button as soon as you come in, that'll be very much appreciated. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. Shout out to my boy Coffee Plant with the first comment of the day. He says, Mazuma, what's going on, brother? Chris OY said, thumbnail tough, hashtag men's mental health. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Chris, always pushing that hashtag that definitely needs to be discussed more often. Shout out to the boy Chris. Forever dedicated in the building. He says, Sko already posting depressing, sad IG reels. This a bad look. I don't follow the dude, you know what I mean? Because his daddy control his account. But, you know, there's been a lot of concerning things in the lead up to this fight, in all honesty, man. I've been telling y'all, Schofield daddy out here bringing out real nervous energy. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying this for a while now, and it just continues to reveal itself. You feel what I mean? But we're going to talk about it. Forever Dedicated went on to say Usyk UFC. I highly doubt it. If Usyk and Pereira were to fight, you know what I mean? If that was something that were actually to happen, I'm sure that it'll happen in a boxing ring. I highly doubt Usyk will enter the octagon. I highly doubt that. Coffee Plant said, cut brought you back to life. Yeah, it was definitely well needed, bro. That shit was kind of rough out here in these streets. You heard? Mr. 007. So Mr. 007 and Agent 007 is two different people. Okay. It will be a fun fight, but Usyk will box him the fuck up. Yeah, absolutely, man. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But we're gonna get into the details, you know what I mean, once we get a little bit settled in. I mean, we only 2 minutes in. We got 7 people in the building. We need 7 likes. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. My boy Slime in the building. What up? Pagat Petit, what up? What the hell that mean? Wagwan. I don't know what the hell that mean. You're going to have to translate that, brother. I need some clarification. I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? He said they brothers. Mr. 007 and Agent 007, y'all brothers? All right. Like Kane and Undertaker out this motherfucker. Oh, that means salute? Oh, okay. That's good to know. What's good in Jamaica? Oh, all right. I ain't know that. Learn something new every day. Shout out to my Jamaicans out there, man. That's one of the places I want to go to when it's all said and done. I need to get my passport for sure. But, yo, man, let's get into it, man. We 3 minutes in, about to be 4 minutes in. We got 8 people. You know what I mean? The people just going to come in later on, man. Let's get it popping. So let's talk about the first topic because, you know, I'm only trying to be on here for an hour, then I'm out. You feel what I mean? Berinchyk, Keyshawn Davis, they had their weigh-ins today. You know what I mean? From what I understand, I heard Keyshawn talking about he going to get 20%. I don't understand what that 20% is about. Did Berinchyk miss weight? What was that about? Or was it the push that he's getting 20%? Can somebody clarify that, please? Can somebody clarify that, please? I don't know what he was referring to. But as far as I'm concerned, I think both of these guys made weight. Let's take a look. Xander Zayas looks skinny than a motherfucker. Don't tell me 154 killing his ass. He just got up there not too long ago.
154 pounds. This is the first step to do it. His former is an undefeated fighter.
His voice even sounds different. That weight cut killing Xander.
And I'm going to take care of business tomorrow night.
How do you get the job done?
Follow the game plan, listen to the corner, and break him down little by little. He's not ready for what's coming.
Oh, wow.
The Thunder Berinchyk.
134.6.
He made weight, so I wonder what the hell Keyshawn talking about. But regardless, you know, they had their little confrontation at the weigh-ins. Keyshawn been getting real hazy with Berinchyk. You feel what I'm saying? Like grabbing the belt, you know what I mean? Moving it back and forth. getting all up in his face, pretty much forehead to forehead with him, and Berinchyk letting him know, like, yo, bro, like, I ain't sweet. Like, I ain't one of these people that you going to be trying to bully before the fight. So I guess, Keyshawn started flexing in front of Dennis Berinchyk, trying to take the spotlight away from him. And he did something really similar to what Tank did to Rolly. You know what I mean? Just doinked him off stage. You know what I mean? Keyshawn wasn't very happy about that. He went after Berinchyk after the fact. He got past like 4 or 5 security guards, bro. That shit was hilarious. And I don't know if he was able to put his hands on Berinchyk or whatever the case is, but it's personal. You know what I mean? It's definitely personal. Keyshawn was approaching the shit pretty professional in a professional manner. But it seemed like shit went south after the bananas and the watermelon got dropped off at his hotel room. You feel what I mean? But now Keyshawn Davis is coming out and telling you that Teofimo Lopez was responsible for that package. You feel what I mean? Now, this is my take on the whole situation. I'm pretty certain that Keyshawn Davis doesn't know at all who the hell dropped off that bananas and watermelon. If all Teofimo Lopez had to do was laugh while eating bananas, while watching you talk about having watermelon and bananas dropped off at your hotel room, then it goes to show that you're not really certain who the hell did it. You feel what I mean? So who's responsible for it at this point? I have no fucking idea. If it was Teofimo Lopez, I wouldn't be surprised because he's a fucking racist. You feel what I mean? If it was Dennis Berincyk's team, I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean? Because it looked like whoever had wrote the letter, unless Teofimo Lopez is that fucking smart where he could make himself, come off as illiterate or whatever the case is. It sounds like something that somebody who isn't fluent in English will write. You feel what I mean? But it is what it is, man. They getting a little bit handsy, and this is gonna be a good fight, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I ain't gonna have shit to do. You know what I mean? Tomorrow night, anyways, I guess. So I'm gonna definitely tune in and see what's going on. I'm gonna definitely tune in and see what's going on. A lot of people, and I seen people predicting the stoppage and things of that nature. Keyshawn Davis was predicting the first round knockout. You said T.O. in Miami, they in New York right now. All right, well, T.O. couldn't have been responsible for it if that's the case. You know what I mean? Regardless, I don't know what the fuck going on, but regardless, a lot of Keyshawn was talking about the first round knockout. Now he says he doesn't want to knock him out in one round. He wants to brutalize him. So we're gonna see, man. This is gonna be a good fucking fight. And Dennis Berinchyk, I seen that Keyshawn Davis in some odds makers books was a 7-1 favorite. So a lot of people are assuming Keyshawn gonna steal the show and become a world champion tomorrow night. That may very well be the case. I think Keyshawn has, the tools necessary to defeat Dennis Berinchyk. But Dennis Berinchyk ain't no bum. You know what I mean? He comes from a very experienced boxing background. J05, what up, baby? What's going on? He comes from a very experienced boxing background. So whenever you got somebody as experienced as Berinchyk, they're gonna give you they're gonna give you some obstacles before you could, complete the mission. You feel what I'm saying? I've seen people predicting 7th round knockout, 8th round knockout. So there's a lot of people that's under the assumption that Berinchyk is wise enough to, at least get through them early and mid rounds. A lot of people are predicting a late round stoppage. You feel what I mean? Bomac was about to smack fire out of Denny's. I seen that. And as a coach, I understand Bomac's concerns because that could easily become an injury. You see what I'm saying? Like, he could have pushed Keyshawn off of that stage. He tweaked his ankle, possibly even, sprained his ankle, and now you out of a fight. You got to be real careful when you doing those type of things. Like, if you see somebody at the edge of the stage, and regardless of how personal or how heated it is, don't push that man off of the stage, especially if you out here trying to get some money. You feel what I mean? If you out here trying to get some money, or you a day away from a little payday or whatever the case is, man, do yourself a favor and don't fuck up the bread. Don't touch the man. You know what I mean? You gonna fight him tomorrow. You could wait 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? You could wait 24 hours to put hands on a man. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be the end of the world if you don't push him off stage or if you don't get physical. So I understand Bomac's concerns. Because Bomac trying to get a check too. You trying to fuck up his money. You trying to fuck up that percentage. He trying to get off Keyshawn. What you doing? You know what I mean? So I understand his concerns, is what I'm trying to say. If Key tore his ankle or some shit fights off, absolutely. You need your legs. Ain't no way you gonna be able to rumble. Ain't no way a doctor is gonna allow you to fight. You know what I mean? If you got, you know, some type of ankle injury. You know what I'm saying? That's a real important part of your boxing. Your ankle. You need your ankle. You need your legs. You know what I mean? Big Soldier MX. He said it's confirmed that 20 mil by Devin was true, Mazuma. What do you mean? What do you mean the 20 mil by Devin? What you mean? Oh, that Devin offered Tank Davis $20 million? We been heard that though. You said Tank Davis confirmed it himself? Okay, well he turned down the offer. Remember the offer by Turkey? Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, and Tank was like, "Oh well, you guys, you rocking with Devin Haney, so if you really want to make a fight happen, you got like pretty much like since you rocking with Devin Haney and shit like that, and I know that y'all in each other pocket or whatever the case is. I'm gonna need this, and that. I'm gonna need this, and that before we could talk about a fight." So it's clear that Tank don't trust Turkey Al-Sheikh because he feels like Turkey Al-Sheikh is biased, and if he gonna come in and not be favored by the person who's running the event, then he feel like he should be, given a little extra. But regardless, that fight not happening, so ain't no use in really talking about it. I seen that Tank did an interview with Lil Yachty though, but I'm sick of seeing boxers do interviews with motherfuckers who don't know boxing, bro. Y'all be sick of that, bro. Y'all don't be sick of that. Like I seen that he did an interview with Lil Yachty. I didn't watch it in its entirety. I think I watched like the first couple minutes, but it's like, bro, it just sucked. There's so many knowledgeable boxing people. There's so much knowledgeable boxing people that have channels and have podcasts that would love to have somebody like Tank on their channel, and Tank avoids that, and then he sits on the couch with Lil Yachty. And Lil Yachty asked the dumbest fucking boxing questions alive. The dumbest fucking boxing questions alive. You feel what I mean? Like, bro, don't nobody want to hear Lil Yachty talk about boxing. You know what I mean? If y'all niggas gonna be talking about fashion or music and shit like that, all right, man, that's Lil Yachty lane. That's the reason why we know him. He had like deals with Nautica and all type. He a fashion dude. He a music dude. All right, cool. But you could clearly tell that this nigga is a full blown casual. He don't know a motherfucking what Devin Haney said. That nigga don't know a fish hook from a check hook or a left hook from a fish hook. You feel what I mean? So with that being known, why give this man the opportunity to talk boxing with you on his platform? That shit don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And I felt the same way, but with Steven Jackson and all of them niggas. And they know they don't know boxing. That's why they signing guys like Andre Ward to, be the representative of they boxing side of their platform, which is smart. But I felt the same way. It's like, bro, how y'all getting Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, opportunities to do interviews with boxers? And I understand they famous guys, they got big platforms, so they could reach out to a different audience. I understand the pros behind it. I know the reason why y'all doing it, but at the same time, it's like there's other big boxing platforms out here that would love to have these boxers on, and they can't get them. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, he definitely lower than the casual. That's why I'm saying, Lorenzo, I was just being a little, I was just trying to, be a little nice, but yeah, he definitely lower than the casual. You could tell Lil Yachty don't watch boxing at all. At all. So It is what it is. I wouldn't even have minded if Tank went on like Club Shay Shay or something because Shannon Sharp might not know the most about boxing, being a former NFL player, but you could tell the man do his research. You feel what I mean? If he would have went on Cam and Mace, I would have minded that because although they're not the biggest boxing heads, you could tell that they do their research. You feel me? Lil Yachty? Kind of corny though. I ain't even gonna lie to you, cuz. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sway in the morning actually knows, believe it or not, he's probably the most knowledgeable dude out of all of those mainstream platforms. Cause Sway be at all the rumbles, cuz. He be at all the rumbles. He watches all the fights. And is he like on the level of like, like us in the chat and shit like that? Sway probably don't know what we know to our level. You know what I'm saying? But he know enough to have a conversation with us. Sway probably the most knowledgeable one out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? Sway done been around the block for a minute. He done interviewed Floyd, had good interviews with him, Bud, he even had Canelo on his shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Charlemagne, he a casual too, but he be watching boxing too though. He be watching. Thierry Scott said they've been watching boxing since the 80s too. They saw Leonard Hagler and all them legends. Who you referring to, Thierry? You referring to Sway? Sway done been around for sure. I'm gonna give him his props. But to me, in all honesty, man, a lot of these dudes is casuals in my head. You know what I mean? But I don't expect people to know as much as me. It's not me being arrogant. It's just, I'm pretty experienced with the game and knowing the game and studying the game and shit like that. So a motherfucker may be regarded as a hardcore boxing fan in most people's eyes, but to me, I be feeling like they don't know shit. So I don't know. That just be me, bro. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these big boxing platforms, they casuals, cuz. Like they casuals in my eyes. But a lot of people not able to tell. But it is what it is. At least we got some, knowledgeable boxing people on here that get they just doing shit like that. Now let's address this. Pagapati said, "Yo, I just saw on X that Clarissa was on PEDs her last fight. Is that true?" I have no knowledge of that. I seen that goofy ass, racist ass. Oh, my wife makes collard greens every night. What's that dude name? His name like Rick. The fuck his goofy ass name is. Let me see what his name is. What's this goofy name? Can somebody tell me what this goofy name is? His name Rick Glacier. Rick Glacier, goofy ass, reported it. And he said multiple people told him. Now, Rick has a long, long history of giving out false information. You know what I'm saying? He has a long history of giving. There's been some shit that he's been right about. I ain't gonna lie to you. I remember he was talking about how Showtime gonna leave boxing way before they announced it. And Stephen Espinoza called him a liar, and they ended up packing it up at the end of the year. So he not wrong all the time, but I remember several instances where he's been totally wrong. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like his word gospel. You know what I'm saying? Like what he's saying is the truth. So we're gonna have to get some clarification from more reliable sources, and before we could really talk about this. You know what I mean? I hope that's not the case. That'll be a huge L for boxing. Clarissa is the best female fighter in the world, in my opinion. So that'll be a huge black eye to the sport of boxing and women's boxing overall. If Clarissa Shields ends up being a drug cheat, I highly doubt it. I don't believe that. At this point in time, she doesn't really show me anything, in terms of her body muscle or anything like that that gives me any type of indication that she's a drug cheat. You know what I mean? It don't always show like in the physical. It doesn't always show physically that you on roids and shit like that. But I remember looking at Alicia Bumgarner, and when she flexed, this girl's fucking bicep was bigger than her head. So when I had seen that and that she had like her fucking neck muscles is all out and she looked very masculine. That's when I was a little suspicious and that she popped. Clarissa don't give me any type of suspicion. You know what I mean? And if and we're gonna get to that, Thierry. Don't worry about it, Thierry. Um, listen, if it comes out that Clarissa Shields is innocent, Rick Glacier, feet need to be held to the fire because there's been so many times where he's made these reports and made these allegations specifically towards like Al Heyman and PBC and shit like that, where he said things about them and has been totally wrong on several instances. You feel what I mean? And nobody ever criticizes him. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of these haters be wanting to believe Rick Glacier. Rick Glacier is the number one hater. So other haters, you know what I mean, they gravitate towards him. They identify with him. So they be hoping that he right. And the whole time, like 80% of the time, this man is dead wrong. Probably even a bigger percentage than that, in all honesty. But regardless, I'm not about to sit here and listen to Rick Glacier and act like what he's saying is gospel or what he's saying is facts, because he could very well be wrong. And if Clarissa Shields is on that shit, if she is on that shit, then she will be held accountable for her actions. Just like how I've done it with Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia. The list goes on and on. Alicia Bumgarner. The list goes. I was the only motherfucker. Yo, tell me I'm lying. I am the only boxing platform that didn't give Alicia Bumgarner a pass for being on PEDs. Because the little bitch pretty and she be showing ass on, in bathing suits on Instagram and shit like that, and be rocking her hips in the motherfucking boxing ring and just be seducing these niggas. They was really letting her slide because she looked good to them. You feel me? So they was giving her a pass. I'm the only one that's like, she's a drug cheat. Fuck her. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy. All right, cool. Cool. You know what I mean? Niggas just don't keep it niggas don't keep it 1,000 like me. I could give a fuck. You could be the baddest bitch in the world. If you in boxing and you test positive for PEDs, I got a problem with you. You know what I mean? You could say it was a herbal tea. You could say it was contaminated. You could say the samples was contaminated. You could say that it was from the the meat that you had in Mexico. You could say it was ashwagandha. I could give a fuck. Because to me, you could very well be lying. Haney was training with Alicia after she popped dirty. Now him and his pops are so against PEDs. PED use since it happened to them. What the fuck do it matter? What the fuck do it matter if he so what if he trained around her while she popped dirty? So what? So what? Why y'all not talking shit about Jaime Munguia when he training with Canelo right now? Why what ain't who's this dude that just joined Canelo Alvarez camp too? Why nobody in Canelo Alvarez camp being held accountable for being around Canelo Alvarez? He a drug cheat. Why the fuck we worried about Devin Haney training with Alicia Bumgarner? So because he trained with Alicia Bumgarner, he a hypocrite? Okay, so all them niggas that's around Canelo Alvarez and Teofimo Lopez a hypocrite. Right? Based off your logic, who gives a fuck? That's up to them whether they want to have them type of people around them. That don't make them guilty. And I'm sure if you would have asked Devin Haney prior or during the time he was training with Alicia Bumgarner if he was against PED usage, he would say yes. Yeah, Andy Ruiz a hypocrite. Because he was training with Canelo, so he got it. I don't understand what that point is, J.A. I'm sure they was against PEDs before they trained with Alicia, during training Alicia, and after training with Alicia. They feel the same way. I highly doubt that when Alicia was around, like, oh, man, yeah, I'm cool with steroid use. Yeah, man, yeah, I love PEDs. I highly doubt they ever said that. What's up, Benavidez back before fucking with that cocaine? Fucking with that cocaine, partying with the wrong people. You know what I mean? Getting too much money too early in your life. Yeah, I just love how everybody just and when I say shit like this, well, oh, you coming to Devin Haney defense? No, it's the reality. I would have said that about anybody. Why do people, bro? We not talking about Haney. Haney is not a part of this conversation, bro. We talk about Dennis Berinchyk, Keyshawn Davis, Usyk. We talking about a motherfucking UFC fighter, Alex Pereira. We talking about Floyd Schofield and Shakur Stevenson in the caption alone. Why are we talking about Devin Haney? Like, what is we talking about? Why does everything have to go back to Devin Haney? Like, y'all hate Devin Haney so much, but y'all keep finding a way to bring him back in the topic. Like what's going on? So the fuck what? So we supposed to ignore Devin Haney got cheated because he trained with Alicia Bumgarner before. What type of bum ass point is that? So if I do a training session with Canelo Alvarez and I fight Ryan Garcia and he beat my ass, yeah, I was talking about niggas giving Alicia a pass for PED use. Dumb training with Alicia Bumgarner doesn't necessarily mean they giving her a pass. But I don't mean shit. So what? So if Alicia called him and be like, "Yo, man, like I'm trying to train with y'all," no, fuck you, and then hang up the phone. What if they was cool before that? Look, there's a lot of shit we don't know, bro. You know what I mean? And plus, I think they was doing an investigation at the time to see if Alicia was even guilty. Then Alicia came out and was like, "Oh, I did my own research, and I was cleared of any wrongdoing, even though I thought that was bullshit." Three Heads, Mazuma TV, is it true Snack has a pending case for illegal PEDs? I know nothing about that. I know Victor Conti has his history, but since then I haven't heard anything else, about Snack. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't even confirmed that Alicia was on PEDs at the time. It was an ongoing investigation. Just like how y'all was sitting here waiting for the investigation with Ryan Garcia. Oh, well, they need to do the investigation first. With Connor Ben. Oh, y'all gotta let them do the investigation first. There was an investigation going on. DF, what up, brother? I just don't get how this ties back to Devin Haney. Like, so what? He trained with Alicia Bumgarner. All right, fuck you trying to say? They was doing steroids together. I just don't get how we supposed to be sitting here talking about Devin Haney looking bad when he ain't the topic of discussion. But anyways, Berinchyk pushing Keyshawn Davis. He wilding. Let's talk about Usyk and Alex Pereira. We not gonna talk too much about this, but Usyk, he said he got 2 fights left, and it seems like one of the fights he's considering for his retirement is Alex Pereira. Now that's a little fun fight to be made. In all honesty, Alex Pereira is a UFC fighter. He comes from kickboxing and things of that nature. So, and he's mostly known for his stand-up game. A very awkward, unconventional type fighter, but has a shit ton of power. And he's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if Pereira and Usyk were about the same size, or maybe if Pereira was a little bigger. But regardless, if that fight were to happen, obviously that would take place in a boxing setting. I highly doubt Usyk will ever, take that chance to go into an octagon with 4-ounce gloves against Alex Pereira. But it seems like a fun fight. Look, Dana White doing business with Turki Al-Sheikh. Usyk did business with Turki Al-Sheikh. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. And for Turki Al-Sheikh, I'm sure Dana will give, Pereira the blessing to transition over to boxing. He let Conor do it. Why the fuck not Pereira? Pereira is one of the biggest stars in the UFC right now. But in all honesty, I don't think much of the fight. I think Pereira is a threat, obviously. He has a shit ton of power, and maybe he could hurt Usyk if he was to land something. However, I do think that Usyk is too intelligent. Usyk's at the top of his game right now. I think he will show that there's levels in the boxing ring, obviously, and I think he would pick Pereira apart, especially with the flaws that he has defensively. You know what I'm saying? With the flaws that Pereira has defensively, which was exposed, against, Adesanya. Even in his last fight, the dude was touching him up a little bit. I think neither one of those guys are on the, boxing level of Alexander Usyk. I think that's fair to say. and I think he will break down Pereira. I think he'll break down Pereira and actually stop him, if we being honest. But it's a fun fight. It's something cool to talk about. And the boxing world and the MMA world will collide once again, and there'll be some great conversations going on. It's gonna be a shit ton of people that'll be rooting for Pereira because he is a hot, relevant fighter in the sport of MMA right now. Usyk, he's pound for pound number one in a lot of people's lists, especially Mazuma TVs. And there'll be a lot of talks, and they could probably and they'll make a shit ton of money together for sure. And if that fight were to happen, I wouldn't be tripping because at the end of the day, man, look, Usyk, it's like when you playing like a game and you complete every mission, and now you just sitting around like, all right, man, I done completed the whole game. I done completed the whole storyline. What is there to do now? It's almost like you want to put that game away and invest your time into another game or explore another game and see what their story mode is about. I think that's where Usyk is at this point. Because let's say Dubois beats Joseph Parker February 22nd. All right, he defeated Daniel Dubois. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, like Dubois making a little comeback or whatever, but he hasn't fought nobody on the level of Usyk to give us that reassurance or give us that confidence that he could beat Usyk. He done beat the Anthony Joshuas. He done beat the Tyson Furies. Who else? I feel like everybody that could be a legit threat to Usyk right now is on the come up and isn't necessarily in line for a shot at Usyk right now. Like Bakoli. Bakoli could very well be a threat, but Bakoli not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Like he beat Jared Anderson, but besides that, he hasn't done anything crazy, in my opinion, to be, deserving of a shot at unification or undisputed at heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Teach says, I want to see a boxer go over to the octagon. Boxers getting too relaxed bringing these guys over. Well, first of all, a lot of these MMA fighters is calling boxers out. So you can't be mad at boxers for, bringing them over to their setting. And then another thing is this: there's more money in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Dana White or MMA fighters, but they should be getting paid a lot more than what they're receiving, bro. That's just my personal opinion. I know they generating a shit ton of money, and they should be entitled to a majority of that bread. But Dana White got a system; it works for him, and he keeping these motherfuckers hungry so they can keep fighting. It is what it is. It is what it is. So I see why a lot of these dudes is leaving the UFC and then rumbling Jake Paul because they getting a bigger bag than they've ever gotten in the octagon. So a lot of these UFC guys, they not making the money they truly deserve. So they calling out boxers because they want some boxing money. So of course they gotta have to go over to a boxing setting. Look at what this dude doing. What the fuck is his name? Dylan Danis, whatever the fuck his name is. The dude ain't fighting the octagon in years. He's had injuries and things of that nature. He fought Logan Paul. Now he's about to fight KSI. You know why? Because Dylan Danis realizes, I think he just signed with like an MMA company too. But regardless, he realizes that there's more money boxing these fucking YouTubers and social media content creators than there is tapping niggas out in a motherfucking octagon. It is what it is. Yeah, go 787. That's a great point. Ronda Rousey got smoked by what's her name? Holly Holm. And Holly Holm is I think to this day she's still the only woman to win a world champion, to win world titles in kickboxing, boxing, and MMA. Holly Holm came from a boxing background and she schooled Ronda Rousey with a boxing style, with the boxing approach. Finished her with a kick, but was just outclassing her, outboxing her, hand for hand, you know, throughout the course of that fight. Ray Mercer went over to MMA and knocked out a legitimate MMA fighter. If y'all were to go look that up, James Toney, he failed. He got choked out, but it was happened to be against a legend. You know what I'm saying? Who was it that choked James Toney out? Was it Dan Henderson? Who was there? Or was it Randy Couture? Who was that? It was Randy Couture. You know what I mean? He ain't have no business being in there with him. You know, James Toney thought that that Randy Couture was gonna stand with him, and nah, took his ass down and choked him out. Um, I seen Shannon Briggs did K1, so I guess it was like it kind of was like an MMA type John, but it was like in a boxing ring. I don't know if K1 is necessarily MMA though. And he knocked out yeah, he KO'd Tim Sylvia. Ray Mercer KO'd Tim Sylvia, and then Shannon Briggs. Let me see. Let me see what K1 is considered. He knocked out somebody by the name of Tom Erickson back in 2004. What is K1 though? Let me check it out. It's actually a hybrid kickboxing style that combines techniques from Muay Thai, karate, taekwondo, and boxing. So essentially, it sounds like MMA, right? Because MMA is mixed martial arts. They literally done gave you like 5 martial arts that is a combination of kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate, taekwondo, boxing. So I mean, if you're being technical, it's a mixed martial arts setting. But regardless, Ricardo Mayorga beat some legit UFC fighter in an MMA fight. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But I think Ray Mercer probably had the biggest moment out of all the boxers going in the cage and, putting somebody to sleep. You know what I mean? Usyk could probably beat some heavyweight contenders in the UFC. You know what's crazy? I think that like UFC is having like a shortage of heavyweights because apparently they only got like 30 heavyweights in the entire division. You know what I mean? So maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Elbows are not allowed in K1. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I just know that Shannon Briggs did it and he knocked that dude Tom Erickson out cold. If Ricardo Mayorga fought today, so what he was at 47. If he was to put Mayorga at 47 today, he will I think he'll beat a few of these niggas. I think he'll fuck Barrios up. I think Mayorga will fuck Barrios up, man. He probably give he'll give Brian Norman everything he looking for, bro. It was when he went up to 54 that his gas tank looked kind of. What was it when he fought Tito at? Was that 160 or 154? Yeah, Mayorga to fuck Barrios up. I ought to put bread on that. Yeah, Mayorga fought at 160 with Tito and he looked like shit. So 147, 154. Mayorga to give niggas gas, cuz. Yeah, Mayorga will be talking hella shit, bro. He would fuck up a lot of dudes psychological, they psyche. Mayorga versus Devin. Devin could have probably, outboxed him maybe, but Mayorga would have been a tough test because he was unconventional. He threw punches from weird angles. Like Mayorga is not. He's one of those awkward fighters that you can't really prepare for. You know what I'm saying? He said Prime Mayorga would smoke Devin. Devin would have had some trouble though. Devin would have had some trouble. I'll tell you what, Devin would have had to use his jab like a motherfucker. But that's the thing. I don't know if Dev would have had the power necessary to discourage Mayorga. Because Mayorga was one of them motherfuckers. Yeah, Mayorga better than Regis. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You the fuck Regis up. Niggas had Mayorga fucked up. Like Mayorga wasn't like the cleanest technician and shit like that. But that nigga was a dog. And he only lost to niggas who was like dumb niggas like Cotto, Tito, De La Hoya, Mosley. Like, if you wasn't no top tier nigga, he, especially in his prime, he was gonna pack you up. I don't know if Devin would have had the power to discourage Mayorga though, because it seemed like Mayorga Kryptonite was a good puncher. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had power and you clipped him to the body or the head, he'd be like, all right. You know what I mean? You get his respect, then it go all downhill. But like if you ain't got no power type shit, even there was some niggas who had power that couldn't fuck with him. I don't know. He would catch Devin with some awkward shit that Devin probably wouldn't anticipate. I don't know. That'd be a good ass fight though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would like that. He would have whooped T.O. I think T.O. too small for welterweight, man. I'm trying to tell you, them dudes big as shit up there. Like I was a welterweight for a little bit of time. I was boxing. I'm way bigger than T.O. Taller, bigger. I bet you I walked around heavier than T.O. Like, not saying I would have beat T.O., obviously. Way more experienced than what I ever was. But I'm saying, like, he too small. You know what I mean? And Boots he a little bigger than me, but he a big-ass welterweight. Bruce Lee versus Tank at 35. Are you serious? Are you serious? That's a real John? You dead ass? Or he gotta be trolling, bro. Nah, he usually be knowing what he be talking about, and he be putting out some good comments. He gotta be trolling. Bruce Lee was he definitely fucking around. I knew that. I know when niggas stupid and when they not. Thierry ain't stupid. Lorenzo, he really answered it. He was like, Tank would cook Bruce. Nah, but Bruce was a phenomenal athlete though. Like he was different. Like I don't know how he would have, turned out. He created his own martial arts and shit like that. So he knew what the fuck he was doing. He had hands. You know what I mean? Let's not get it fucked up, but how we know that he would have been successful at boxing? How we know he would have been successful, in MMA? What weight class was Bruce? Some people said Bruce was like 150 pounds. Some people said Bruce was 135 pounds. How big was he really? And based off of that, he didn't have much fat on him. He was shredded. I doubt he could have cut much weight from his walk around weight. It said Bruce Lee was 5'8" and weighed 141 pounds. Based off of this Google search. Let me see. It said he was they said how tall? 5'8". I seen people say he was smaller than that, but that's cool. So he was not that tall. But a lot of people say he was between 135 and 140. It's too small. Predictions for tomorrow card. That's actually a great question, Ghost. Let's actually get into that. Because I want to say, you know what? Before I do that, let's talk about Floyd Schofield accusing Shakur Stevenson of steroid use. Didn't I tell you, dudes? Look, I'm not a fan of accusing motherfuckers of something if the facts are not in front of me. I would never call my girl a cheater if I've never had any type of proof that she was a cheater. I would never call somebody gay unless like I'm joking around or just really trying to disrespect somebody. I wouldn't seriously call somebody gay or suspect somebody of being gay if I've never seen them do gay shit. I would never say something like I would never say that somebody's a pedo if I never seen them participate in pedo shit. So I'm not a fan of accusing motherfuckers of doing shit if I don't have the facts in front of me. I could speculate. I might think something. I might be suspicious of something, but until I know definitively, I will never call you out and say that. There's some people that I'm suspicious of today in boxing for using PEDs. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't have definitive proof. So why would I come on here and express that to y'all? That's just irresponsible. And that's what I feel like Floyd Schofield has been this entire time, if we being honest. You feel what I'm saying? If we look from the beginning of when this fight was signed till now, it's just been a lot of nervous energy coming from Floyd Schofield. Now, I'm not talking about the son. I'm pretty sure that he's confident in his abilities. He wants to be great. He wants to participate in big fights. I'm strictly talking about the father, the one who's not experienced in boxing, the one who shows a lot of paranoia and nervous energy in a lot of the moves that he makes. Let's start from the very beginning. Floyd Schofield was supposed to show up to London for that Ring Magazine awards. He's supposed to show up for the Ring Magazine awards, and they were supposed to have a press conference. I don't know if it was a day or two after, but regardless, it was around the same time frame. Somehow, some way, and I call Cap. I'm sorry. I call Cap that they had their passports, but the signature page was ripped out. And the most ridiculous statement to follow after the fact was that somebody had broke into their crib and ripped the signature page out of their passport to prevent them from going out to London. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, nigga, if I'm breaking into somebody's crib and risking my life, it ain't gonna be to rip a signature page out of a fucking passport, bro. Like, that's not happening. You know what I mean? That's just not shit. That's not shit that people do. That shit don't even make sense. And you in Texas, ain't they like they don't even play with like everybody got a gun. They just gonna break in your crib and just rip a page out. Then he even said, "Oh, it was a blessing." I think he said like it was a good thing they didn't go to London because they was trying to sabotage his camp. So with you saying that right there, your whole intention was to avoid going to London because you felt like that would have hurt you guys' preparation for Shakur Stevenson. So it gives me the impression that you purposely ripped the signature page out of his passport, or you sabotaged Floyd Schofield's ability to go to London somehow because you felt like that could ruin his chances at defeating Shakur Stevenson. That's just my personal opinion. Moving on. That was the first bullshit excuse. Then they have slash tires. Slash tires. He fills out a police report. The dad fills out a police report. This is what he said. Dangerous desirabilities. We just spoke about that. We don't follow what Rick Glacier says. He provides a lot of false information. So until a credible source comes out and says that Clarissa Shields tests positive for a banned substance, we not going for that. We'll talk about it if it's legit. But it coming from Rick Glacier, we don't trust his sources, and for the most part, he's full of shit. So let's go back into the Floyd Schofield conversation. So he had his tires slashed. He filled out a police report and made the assumption, he insinuated that Shakur Stevenson was responsible for the tire slashing, that they're the ones who are behind the scenes trying to sabotage what they got going on. Shakur had to sit back and laugh like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Another thing, Floyd Schofield gets rid of Joanne Guzman after a couple weeks of training with Floyd Schofield. Says they had you can't trust nobody, and pretty much insinuated that Joanne Guzman was a mole giving information to Shakur Stevenson's camp. When has Joanne Guzman ever been known to be a rat? When has he ever been known to be a mole? I'm not saying it's impossible because snake people do snake shit. I don't know Joanne Guzman, so I can't assume that, he is snake, but I also can't assume that he's a good person. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you were so quick to speak good, I seen him on Mill City praising Joanne Guzman, that he always wanted to train with Joanne Guzman. They just couldn't afford him, but they can afford him now. And within a couple weeks, y'all kicking him out of camp, and you saying that all your son need is you. Paranoia, nervous energy. Let's move on. Paranoia, nervous energy. Let's move on. What's the other one I'm forgetting, y'all? Okay, yeah. The most recent one. Shakur Stevenson has always had a good relationship with Andre Ward. He's always had a good relationship with Floyd Mayweather. He's also always had a good relationship with Terrence Crawford. If y'all go watch the Edwin De Los Santos fight, they had a dope little picture together before the fight had happened. It was Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford, and Shakur Stevenson. I don't know if Andre Ward was a part of the picture, but you get it. He got a good relationship with all them dudes, and they all came to visit him during training camp while he was sparring. Here comes Floyd Schofield Sr. or whatever, the daddy Schofield, mama Schofield, whatever his name is, sees that online and has a titty attack. It just screams panic attack to me because he's like, oh, shit. Shakur needs, Terrence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather there to help with little old us. He has all these people coming around for just us. They can't fight for him. Bro, all you're doing by talking like that is just showing concern. All that shit that you be talking. You always talk about how your son's the greatest of all time. He can knock Tank out. He can knock Devin out. He can knock Keyshawn out. He can knock Shakur out. But now that the heat is being applied to your motherfucking ass, pause. Which you might like. He might like that shit. But pause. Now you want to create some type of storyline that these niggas is trying to sabotage what you got going on. Bro, it's yelling paranoia. It's yelling scary energy. You extremely nervous, my brother, and it's making me concerned as to whether you are going to show up to this fight or not. There's still how much time left until the fight, people? We got 9 days. We got 9 days. It's currently February 13th. We got 9 days. So we'll see. I could be right. I could be wrong. But when Shakur Stevenson said that he was kind of nervous and whether, Schofield is going to show up or not, I see why. Because, and I'm probably missing out on some examples. But the dad, Floyd Schofield's dad, Kid Austin's father, is showing a lot of paranoia. He's schitzing. You know what I mean? We say that shit, in Philly when a nigga like scary and he all over the place. The nigga is schitzing. You feel me? And it just shows where his confidence level is at. You feel what I mean? Man put hands on his lady, not too far removed from lying and fabricating. Hey, man. I don't know. That's a different conversation. Go 787. Reasons are because they have to stay more in shape to be able to maintain their weight, therefore creating better habits at staying in the gym and discipline. So when unification is easier on their bod. What are you referring to, Ghost? Where that come? What made you say that statement? Oh, okay. I didn't see the previous comment. You said, Mazuma, I got a boxing question that bothers my mind, but it might not make a lot of sense on why I think that. I believe IBF fighters got the advantage on unification fights. I'll say my reason. Then you go on to say, reasons are because they have to stay more in shape to be able to maintain their weight, therefore creating better habits at staying in the gym and discipline. So when unification is easier on their bod. I see exactly what you're saying, Ghost, and you actually present some great points, but it all depends on the fighter. Because what if the reality is they've outgrown the weight class or they don't make the weight cut healthily? Oh, did I say that right? In a healthy manner. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you're a champion at 147 like Boost, you got the IBF or whatever, and, rehydration, you've gotten to the point where you're growing out of the weight class. And let's say that rehydration could be the main thing that'll help you in preparation for the fight. You putting on that healthy weight, you know what I mean? Getting back to the normal weight that you feel strong at, whether it's 160, 165, or whatever the case is. That IBF shit may hurt your chances of being at your best if you're too big for the weight class. But I'm one of those people that's like, yo, if your body's telling you to move up, you should move up type shit. But I think it all depends on the fighter, but you definitely raised some great points. And I'm glad you brought this up. The rehydration clause that Floyd Schofield brought up as well. He's saying, the WBC is putting a Shakur, the WBC is putting a rehydration clause on us. Oh, we're gonna make the weight. I ain't worrying about it. Oh, but they want us to wait 148 the night of the fight. Where is this even coming from, my brother? Where is this coming from? Why? And even if that's the case, that's 13 pounds. Why are you bitching about your son only putting on 13 pounds? If 13 pounds don't make you stronger or healthier and in a good position to fight, 24 hours later, then you shouldn't be in the weight class. If you put on 13 pounds and you don't feel no significant difference and you still feel weak, I think it's time to move the fuck up. Look, for example, 13 pounds. If you weigh 147, right, and you weigh in, and you wake up the next day and you 160, that's 13 pounds, and you still feel weak or dehydrated, that's very concerning, bro. That means you need to get the fuck out of welterweight before you hurt yourself. Oh, yeah, bro, and this is the thing, J.A., you over here talking about he going to throw a sissy fit when his son loses. I mean, that's a fact. And he's going to come up with every fucking excuse necessary as to why Shakur Stevenson beat his son. You feel what I'm saying? Or they're just going to take the approach, well, man, we was homeless. And we got money now, so I'm proud of. He gonna make it like a money thing, like they didn't really lose and they won at the end of the day after talking all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be either one of them Jones. Either he gonna make a shit ton of excuses, or he gonna be like, "Oh, we won at the end of the day because we got paid." It's gonna be one of them type Jones. Pereira went from 185 to 225 overnight. That's literally 40 pounds. I'm glad he moved up because that's not a healthy weight to cut to. If you're putting on 40 pounds overnight, that means that weight cut that he was going through, that's probably what made him chinny against Adesanya. Because look, when you weigh 180, if you 225, if you coming in 225 the night of the fight, that's what your body, that's the weight that your body really needs to be at for you to feel rehydrated properly and that's how much you're supposed to weigh in your best shape. You feel what I mean? That's definitely unhealthy. I'm sure that took away his punch resistance when he fought guys like Adesanya and shit like that. And I'm glad he moved up to 205 because ever since he moved up to 205, you could see that he's been doing better, been able to take a shot better. You know what I'm saying? Because Roundtree hit him with some shit. You know what I mean? And he was able to take them shots pretty well. Like when Adesanya hit him with that first right hand, it didn't even look like it was a big shot. And it fucking turned his whole world around. Then he got hit with another one that didn't look like it had much on it. And he went to sleep. And I'm like, what the fuck? That didn't even look like hard shots. But you telling me that he had a cut down to 185 and then he putting on 40 pounds overnight, that means he ain't got no business at 185. Devin be 165 come fight night. Yeah. That's why, 135, that was too much for him. 140, I don't think that's enough. If he walking around 165 fight night, 140 might be too much of a cut for him as well. I think 147 will be the right weight for Devin Haney moving forward. Because think about it, if he was fighting at 135, you know what I mean, and he walking around 165, probably walking even heavier when he's not in camp, most likely probably 175, whatever the case is, that additional 5 pounds from 135 to 140 probably isn't, any type of significant help. You feel me? But putting on an additional 7 pounds after the 5 pounds, that could make a difference. Yeah. Dev weight cuts got so bad at 135. He started doing early morning. He started requesting and getting early morning weigh-ins and then doing ceremonial weigh-ins after the fact, after he's already, in the process of rehydrating. That's how you know the weight cuts was bad, because he didn't want anybody to look at him. He motherfucker was looking bad, bro. Biv will be 220, really? He do not be looking that big. Bivol don't look like he get big, like, at all. Bivol don't look like he blow up that crazy. I don't know. That's hard to believe. Artur, he probably do. Yo, Ghost, I was talking about that. Bivol max 190. Yeah, Bivol probably touched 200. But, like, he don't ever be looking big with, like, his face all round and shit. But I want to go to this comment right here. You said, yo, Mazuma Xander starting to look like Devin at 135. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Xander, bro. You started at 140. You couldn't make the weight no more. 47, you couldn't make the weight no more. 54, you looking like a dead man. I'm seeing you on the scale and your whole fucking face all bony, your collarbones all out, all crazy. And then you talking and it sound like your voice high pitched, like you got no water in your system. Like, what the fuck? Like, how big is this kid getting? Like, who's this man's strength and conditioning coach? What the fuck y'all got going on over there? I don't know, bro. Xander looked like he had a bad weight cut. Xander is a big kid. I ain't gonna lie to you. Xander got to be in his 20s already. How old is Xander? Xander 22. So obviously he's still growing. Like, that's without a doubt. That shit crazy, bro. It just sucked that, like, Xander gonna have to move up soon because he's already in a great position at 154. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's already in a good position at 154. So let's say, after this fight, he like, yo, man, I can't make 154 no more. I gotta go up to 160. It's pretty much like he's gonna have to start all over again. Unless them sanctioning bodies give him a good position when he moves into the, unless like the WBO gives him a good, position of, being at, in their sanctioning body and shit. It's like he's gonna have to start all over again. And that's probably why Xander was talking about he want a world title fight next and shit like that. That's probably why he want that world title shot right away, because he know he ain't gonna be there much longer. Yeah, Xander got to be like 5'11", 5'10". Yeah, he is big. Shit is crazy, bro. Xander growing like a motherfucker, boy. He probably end up being a light heavyweight when it's all said and done. By the time he hang up the gloves. He said, that's just a sport, though. Everybody is cutting down to something. The one I really worry about is Mortazaliev. That motherfucker look like a super middleweight. That's a big motherfucker. And that's why, he don't got no problem, going to 160 to rumble somebody neither, because that's probably the weight where he's supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Berlanga, you said Berlanga too. He could be a heavyweight for real. Yeah, Berlanga's a big motherfucker, bro. And when I heard he was 193 for Canelo, and I'm like, wow, that's his like in shape fight weight. I said, I can only imagine how much he weighs when he's out of camp. 200 plus for sure. 205 up there. He's somewhere up there. So, on some real shit, Edgar Berlanga can acclimate the cruiserweight without a problem, if we being honest. Yeah, Xander gonna be big as shit fight night. He gonna be like 170 for sure. How sunken in he looked, he gonna watch. I know he in that hot. I don't know if it's gonna be an illegal IV. You know what I mean? He might be getting some type of exemptions or whatever. Some commissions they allow that type shit. I know he's somewhere in that motherfucking hospital. I mean, in that hotel room, getting an IV, replenishing his body with the vitamins and nutrients that he needs. Then he gonna eat like a motherfucker, hydrate like a motherfucker, because this is what they do. A lot of people don't know this. When somebody's in the process of rehydrating for a fight, bro, they nonstop down in liquids. I've seen trainers yell at fighters for them not, drinking they liquids. Yo, you ain't finished. Yo, man, you gotta drink all of that. You gotta drink all of that. I've seen that. I'm not gonna say Coffee Plant says so after a weigh-in you can eat whatever you want. I wouldn't recommend eating whatever you want, because like I said, I remember seeing like some journeymen like Mexicans after a weigh-in on a PBC card just eating pizza. I wouldn't eat pizza the day before a fight. You feel what I mean? I would try to get some healthy shit in my body, pasta, steak, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Shit that actually do good for your body. You feel what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't put just, I'm not eating ice cream after, like I'll eat ice cream like after the fight. I'll eat pizza like after the fight. But if I'm getting ready for war or whatever the case may be, I'm looking to put like good foods in my body, not the bullshit. You heard? That's what I would do. Anonymous said, yeah, people like to single people out about the weight thing in boxing, but literally I could point a fighter out in every single weight class. That's a fact. That's a fact. There's always a couple motherfuckers in the weight division that, be finessing their way into that weight class so they can have some type of advantage. I see it all the time. I see it in the amateurs too. Are there any fighters that fight at their natural weight? I can't think of. Tank. Tank said he'd be 139. He said he walk around 139. Since he stopped drinking and, fucking with Adrian Broner. Floyd Mayweather used to walk around at his fight weight. Floyd used to walk around 150, fight at 147. Bernard Hopkins used to walk around when he finished his career at 75, he used to walk around 178, 175. I don't know who else walk around at their fight weight. It's really hard to find motherfuckers who walk around at their fight weight today. Yeah, Tank got that under control. He stopped fucking with AB. That's what happened. He got focused and stopped bullshitting. Took a page out of Floyd's book. Andy Cruz. Yeah, Andy Cruz. I never seen Andy Cruz blow up. I've even seen him out of camp, and he looked like he was at a good weight. Liam Paro. It's somebody else. It's somebody else that they said Sebastian Fundora. Fundora was like, yo, like I'll walk around like this, like he said, I don't blow up like this really my walk around weight. And I believe him. I don't know about y'all, but Fundora looked like he looked like one of them type niggas that don't gain weight or he can't gain weight. like his metabolism, like on some Usain Bolt shit. I've heard Sebastian Fundora say, they were like, yo, bro, how do you make 154? He's like, yo, like, bro, I walk around at this weight. I believe him. I'm sorry. I believe him. Fundora, I don't you don't believe that shit about Fundora? I do. I don't think he blow up at all. Bro, show me a picture of Fundora where he looked heavy. He looked the same no matter what he do. There's Landy Lara. Yeah. Nah, Lara be looking kind of when he was at 54, he looked a little chunky sometimes. Especially after he got that Canelo payday, he was looking a little chunky, like a little fat in the face and shit like that. Loma. Yep. Yeah, Loma was real, but he real small for 35, so that makes sense. Nah, Danny will blow up. Danny never walked around at 47. He wouldn't blow up nothing crazy, but you know. I mean, heavyweights do walk around at their fight weight. Yeah, y'all. Thanks. Yeah, Rigo didn't blow up. He's a small dude, though. Yeah, I remember seeing Lara. He had this little thick-ass Cuban John, light-skinned John, fat ass and all that. Nigga face was all round. He had all Gucci on. I'm like, this nigga Lara funny as shit. You could tell he got a nice little bag off Canelo. He said, yo, why today? I just found out Jared Anderson fighting tomorrow. Yo, I remember them announcing it. But I completely forgot until they did the weigh-in. And man, Jared Anderson been on the hush, bro. Plant says that he doesn't blow up too much, but I've seen Caleb Plant like a little gut and shit like that. I remember he did like a photo shoot with Canelo, I think. He had a nice little belly. So I don't think he walk around at his fight weight. He probably don't be too far off, but Shakur walks underweight. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, ever since I seen that episode of him eating steak the week of the fight with Haratunyan, I was like, yo, he gotta be like, he need to be at 130 for real. 180 to 185 is not a bad weight to be around if you were super middleweight. Because you only talking 12 to 17 pounds. That's an easy cut to get off in 8 weeks. That's an easy cut to get off in 8 weeks. If you got to cut 12 pounds in 8 weeks, it's so easy. Yeah, Shakur rushed his move up to 35 for real. Yeah, 190 to 160. I've gotten to 175 to 152 in 8 weeks. And I think I got to that weight before the 8 weeks. Yeah, he spelled steak wrong. He spelled it like the stakes are high. Like he spelled it like that. Steak is crazy. Takes mad long to process. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that shit sits in your body. Red meat in general, pause, fucking sits in your body for a long time. It takes a while to digest. You know what I mean? Shakur walk around 150. Every time I've ever heard people ask Shakur about his walk around weight, he never says it. So I can't confirm that. But let's say it is 150. It's not a bad cut. 15 from 150 to 135. That's not a bad cut. I've heard way worse. Rolly was fighting at 135. I think it was walking around at 175. And that's confirmed by Rolly. Rolly told me that personally. He told me he had to lose 17 pounds. He had to lose 17 pounds a couple days before the Tank fight. That's what he told me. I was like, what? I said, why the fuck would you do that, Rolly? I'm like, you're a fucking idiot, cousin. That's what he told me. So he was 152 a couple days before the weigh-in for Tank. And then cut down to 35. He said he just was too big for the weight. He outgrew the weight class. And he got to cut that last minute. Now, if we want to believe that or not, that's a different discussion. That's what he told me. Said Rolly don't know how to count to 20, unreliable. That's fucked up, Octane. I'll tell you what, Rolly about to get a nice little check for this fight. And according to Ring Magazine, Devin, Jose Ramirez, along with Rolly and Ryan, is going to take place at Times Square, and the fight is going to be free for fans to watch until it reaches maximum capacity. Can you believe that? Motherfuckers going to be out there waiting all night, all morning, to get interest into the fight. Tickets they're free until it reaches maximum capacity. It's taking place in Times Square. It's going to be free to the public until it reaches maximum capacity. When the fuck have we ever heard of any of this shit? Swear to God, y'all can go check it on Ring Magazine right now. I couldn't believe what I read. Where the fuck my phone at? Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on, let me pull that shit up, y'all. I don't want y'all to think I'm bullshitting. Wait, where did I see this at? Am I tripping? I think Lance Pugmire reported it. Let me check. Where the fuck is this shit at? Damn, I can't find it. Hey, Octane, you raising some great points, my brother. I can't find it. Really, and Ryan might fuck around and miss weight. If I was Rolly, I'd shake Ryan ass up and miss weight. What? Ryan would be fucking pissed. Ryan be scared as shit. Middle of Times Square is crazy. That's going to be a logistic nightmare. Subways and streets going to have to be shut down. Police on OT. Bro, that's how it's about to be here in Philly tomorrow, bro. That motherfucking parade that the Eagles about to have, that shit about to fuck Philly up, bro. And I got to work tomorrow. And I know all these roads about to be shut down, bro. I'm already anticipating being late to work. On some real shit, bro. Swear to God. Damn, y'all, can somebody find me this article? I was just reading that shit. I was trying to find the Ryan Garcia Times Square joint. Let me see. Okay, Bay Area super fans. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero and Haney versus I don't think he meant to say Garcia, but I think he meant to say Ramirez. Will be free in New York in Times Square. I don't know if it's true, but that's what's being put out there. I like this right here. George said, I'm not sure if you covered it already, but thoughts on Teofimo fighting on a zombie map. He referring to Alcatraz. It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. I don't know what Turkey Al-Sheikh got going on. I don't know what the inspiration is behind it. But hey, man, listen, if he putting the bag up and he feels like that's the best location, I mean, if you putting up the bread, you get a lot of say in where, fights take place and, things of that nature. So that's what Turkey want to do. That's on him. I mean, that's technically the United States, right? It's right off the coast of San Francisco, from what I understand. Now, are many people going to be interested in taking a ferry over to Alcatraz to watch the fight? I don't know. Bro. Like that's like I really don't know how they're gonna go about that, but it's interesting. I'm gonna tell you this though. Turkey Al-Sheikh is really thinking, outside the box. I'm gonna just say that. People are gonna have to take boats to get there. Yeah. That's the only way to get there, through ferry. And I've taken a ferry before. They not the best places to be on, bro. I took a ferry in Puerto Rico from Puerto Rico to a little island off the coast of Puerto Rico called Culebra. Yeah, I mean, they got one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, Flamenco Beach. And it was about like a half hour to 45 minutes around there. And I was with my girl. This was back in April of last year. And I remember having to put my face in my towel because every time I looked out into the water, like, bro, I was getting seasick like a motherfucker. I was getting seasick like a motherfucker, bro. I had to close my eyes and put my face in the towel just to regain, like, my ability to fucking not vomit. Ferry suck, bro. Real shit. That shit was a huge waste of time anyway. We ain't even end up going to Flamenco Beach because we thought like the beach was right where like they dropped us off at on the ferry, but it was a nice little distance and we ain't had no transportation. So we had to talk to the fucking people that ran the ferry to get the to get back to, you know, the others to get on the ferry back to Puerto Rico because we had to fly back out to Philly that night. Oh my God, bro, that was a bitch. And then we almost got stuck on one part of the island. We had to lift like a little gate to get through. Bro, it was complete darkness when we was driving. It was crazy, bro. He said Turkey might fuck around and put a boxing card in Antarctica. Real rap. He was like, it's boxing on ice. We're going to do boxing on ice. Little Turkey, you wildin', cuz. You motherfuckers are going to box on an ice cube. Yo, Turkey about to draw. We're going to have Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez box on the moon. Pay-per-view $3.99. Yeah. Nigga gonna be boxing in igloos. Facts. That nigga gonna put up $500 million and have Canelo fight Benavidez on the moon. He be on nut shit. It's like, no, shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh, man. He doing shit he don't need to do. Because with or without boxing, he made. You feel me? So the fact that he taking part in boxing is a blessing. We don't know how long he gonna be here. You feel what I mean? I don't know how long he's gonna be interested in boxing. But for the time being, I'm appreciative. You know what I mean? Because as boxing fans, we used to motherfuckers acting like they're interested in that walking out. Peak Notch comment. Who the fuck is Notch? Oh. Notch says, I don't know who the fuck is Mozzie. I don't know who Mozzie is. I don't know if you're trying to say Mazuma or what. If I do a parlay for February 22nd, bro, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm getting sick of motherfuckers reaching out to me for parlays, bro. I'm getting sick of motherfuckers asking me about parlays, participating in parlays, bro. Leave me the fuck alone. But since you left a comment, who should you pick for the W's? I mean, there's some close competitive matchups, man. So it's like this a little dangerous drawing to gamble. You know what I'm saying? It's a little dangerous drawing to gamble. So we starting off with Better Beef Bivol. Better Beef won the first time, but did Bivol make the adjustments necessary? Possibly. He might come out on top. I'm pulling for Bivol, so but then Better Beef may very well. Bivol might take more chances and get hurt by Better Beef. Better Beef might have more success because Bivol gonna open up more. I don't know, man. So you could go. That's a tough drawing, but let's say just pick Better Beef. Yeah, and then these motherfuckers always want to talk about getting money. I don't never want to put niggas on money. But I think Daniel Dubois going to win. Shakur Stevenson. I think Hamza Shiraz is going to beat Adames. Where the fuck is this shit at? Why is it not showing me? I think Madrimov is going to beat Virgil. I don't know too much about Buatsi, man. And I've seen a lot of people saying Caballero is going to beat Zhang. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not the person you go to for parlay advice, bro. I ain't necessarily worried about the money. I'm worried about seeing the fights. You know what I mean? I get my money my own way. I make money off boxing. I don't make money off betting on boxing. And, you know, by the way, I'm definitely not the person to go to for parlay advice because, on God, I've never won a parlay. Never. I can show you my whole betting history right here on my phone. I've never won. I've gotten close. I've had like one joint out of the parlay fail multiple times, but I've never came close to winning the parlay. Well, I've gotten close, but I've never won a parlay. I've never won a bet on that motherfucker. Bro, I'm terrible at betting. So I wouldn't even be the person to, you know, he should put bread on Callum. You got better be winning by stoppage this time. Bethaniel says, to be honest, I'm going with Joshua. To me, Smith peaked at 168 and hasn't really gotten a statement victory at 175. Wasn't his debut at 75 like a dramatic-ass knockout, though? Or was that somebody else? Like Bull had a seizure and all that. Was that Callum? Yeah, I remember seeing that shit, and that was an ugly knockout, man. You said it wasn't against a top contender. Yeah, I'm not too sure who dude was. I would have to look at that. But regardless, you know, that was a nasty knockout. I don't think the nigga fought since then either. That was about, what was that, like 2 years ago? I think. I don't know. It'd be hard to keep up with all these guys, man. He said Callum gonna put what? Damn, Ralph out here. He said Callum gonna put Buatsi on a highlight reel. Did Kovalev retire? I don't know, but he should. He ain't got it no more, man. He better stay his ass out of this new era of light heavyweights. He better stay out the way. Like when it was his time, him and Adonis was them niggas, and Ward fucked it all up for Kovalev, but he better stay out of the way of these new light heavyweights. He ain't got no business being in boxing no more. George said, is it a hot take that Benavidez could beat Beterbiev, assuming that he beats Bivol in the rematch? Assuming that he beats Bivol in the rematch. I don't think it's necessarily a hot take. You might have a lot of people who disagree with you, but I don't think it's necessarily a hot take because Benavidez, he's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. He happens to be one of my favorite fighters. He's very gifted offensively, in my opinion. Has a lot of heart. Has superb conditioning, fast, good hand speed, good fast combinations. He's gonna bring something to the table that Beterbiev hasn't seen before. The problem is Beterbiev happens to be one of the biggest punchers pound for pound in the sport of boxing. Devastating power. That I'm sure Benavidez has not felt before in a professional setting. I know he sparred Triple G when he was young, but that's sparring. I'm talking about with 10-ounce gloves on, he's never felt the power that Better Beef is dishing out. So this could be a very dangerous fight for Benavidez, but if he plays his cards right, he could possibly outwork Artur Beterbiev on some real shit. But, there's a lot of dangers that come behind that. I'm going to keep it 1,000. Beterbiev is dangerous for all these motherfuckers just because of what he possesses. You know what I'm saying? He could hurt anybody. Anybody in the division, he could hurt. Is Kovalev a Hall of Famer? Man, he's a fucking racist, so I don't even want to give him that credit. He had a good run at like heavyweight. He beat Bernard Hopkins and John Pascal and Nathan. I think he beat Nathan Cleverly. But I don't know. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. It's just so hard to determine that shit nowadays. I just feel like the Hall of Fame ain't necessarily about, accolades. I don't think it's necessarily about, like resumes and things. I just feel like it's a huge popularity contest. So in my mind, that person might not be a Hall of Famer, but because, they caught a lot of people attention, they're a Hall of Famer. Like, in my mind, Gervonta Davis is not a Hall of Famer. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think, he hasn't fought any of the elite guys in any of the divisions that he's been in. The top guys, he hasn't. But because he's a draw, because he's a hot, relevant topic in the sport of boxing, they will put him in the Hall of Fame. Bro, Arturo Gatti is in the Hall of Fame, bro. And ain't no disrespect to Arturo Gatti, but it's like, come on. It's really a it's really a popularity contest. That's what it is. Like, if you were popular, there's a good chance you might get in. It's not necessarily about what you accomplished, how long you was on top, or anything like that. Are Beterbiev and Bivol Hall of Famers? Well, I know Beterbiev got a strong case for being a Hall of Famer just off becoming undisputed. Just off becoming undisputed. Like, becoming undisputed is a big deal. You know what I mean? Not everybody accomplishes that. We know some all-time great fighters who never accomplished becoming undisputed. Having a damn near 100% knockout ratio in championship fights, the only motherfucker he ain't knock out was Bivol. One of Ward's crowning moments was defeating Kovalev. That was one of the achievements that got Ward into the Hall of Fame. I agree, and I think the rematch is what solidified it. But I think even based off of what he did at 168 and the names that he beat at 168, whether we talking about Mikkel Kessler, whether we talking about Carl Froch, Chad Dawson, he completing that Super 6 tournament and coming out on top when he was a live underdog, Andre Ward did some great shit. He did some great shit. He ain't ducked nobody. He fought 32 times and came out victorious every time. I'm sure when you are being assessed in terms of becoming a Hall of Famer, I think they consider your amateur pedigree as well. He's the last male Olympic gold medalist that the U.S. has had lately. No male has gotten a gold medal in USA boxing since Andre Ward. Come on, y'all. That man is a first ballot Hall of Famer without a doubt. Do I think Canelo still want that smoke? With who? Bivol? Who does Canelo want smoke with? I heard Turki Al-Sheikh say that Canelo was expressing doing a rematch with Bivol. He wanted the rematch with Bivol, but he wanted it at 175. And Bivol was like, nah, let me go to 168 and fight you for undisputed. And Canelo was like, nope, and moved on with his career. Y'all remember that? Bill was like, I'll go to 168 and take your undisputed titles. Canelo was like, nope, I'm good. Bethania says, funny how Canelo talks about Bivol, but not entertaining better beef once. That's a terrible style for Canelo to go up against. Terrible style. He might fuck around and get stopped for the first time fighting better beef. And I hear people saying, oh, Canelo, he'll beat better beef. Okay. And Canelo is a Hall of Famer, though. Sucks to say, because he's a drug cheat and everything like that, but they not going to give a fuck about that. Canelo a first ballot Hall of Famer, bro. He going to get inducted into every Hall of Fame in the United States. The International Boxing Hall of Fame, the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. He going to get in everywhere, bro. Old Skills, what up? Canelo probably walk around if I had to guess, probably walk around high 80s. High 80s, low 90s maybe. Canelo, he not a tall dude, but he's sturdy. I don't think he hit 200 though. I think 200 a little bit too much for him. I think mid to high 80s if I had to guess. Ooh, in their prime, who wins, Mikey Garcia or Tank at 135? Mikey was a bad motherfucker, bro. He had power at 135. He boxed really well. Durable, had a chin. I don't know. Tank a beast too, though, man. I don't know. Canelo versus Beterbiev was 50-50. I disagree. Equip FC says Crawford 186 now. Canelo bigger than him. But Crawford's 186 and Canelo's 186 is two different weights. They might be equal in weight, but it's not the same. It's not the same weight. Like me being at 200 pounds and Jai Opatai being at 200 pounds, that's two different 200 pounds. You feel what I mean? Canelo is actually acclimated to being a super middleweight. Terrence Crawford is not. But Mikey Garcia versus Tank at 135? Do y'all think Mikey gives Tank trouble? I think his fundamentals will give Tank some trouble, man. That's a good fucking fight. Tank would trap, counter Mikey and sleep him. Damn. Mikey was a bad motherfucker at 135, though, bro. If Tank don't hurt Mikey, that's going to be a bad job for him. He was fundamental. Like, Mikey wasn't the quickest, the strongest. He didn't have the fastest hands. But he was good at everything. He wasn't phenomenal at one aspect, but he was solid in each one. You feel me? Like Mikey was nasty, bro. Tank don't need to win rounds. That's the problem. You say that now until he not able to hurt a motherfucker. Then you gonna wish he won rounds. I remember they used to say the same shit about Wilder. That power not gonna bail you out all the time, cuz. It ain't. You gonna run into a motherfucker who don't give a fuck about that, or a motherfucker you can't hurt. Tell me, Tank gonna run into, if he keep boxing long enough, he gonna run into a nigga who can take his punch, or could take it, or he can't hit. And that's when we gonna see what he really made out of it. All punchers, they end up, and Tank is more than just a puncher. Let's not get it confused. But if he takes that approach where it's like, oh, I don't care to lose these rounds because I'm going to knock you out anyway, that could cost you. That's a lazy strategy for real, for real. Your goal should be to win every round with the intent, with the same intentions of knocking that opponent out. And I could tell by how the way you talking, you ain't see much of Mikey Garcia. And that's the thing, too. Like, y'all talk about Tank punching power. I seen Mikey sleep niggas at 135. I seen him brutalize people. Did y'all see when he fought Dejan Zlaticanin at 135? They had to put an oxygen mask on that man after the fight. Mikey didn't really have that much power at 47 and all that, but, 26, 30, 35, even 40, he held his own. Mikey could crack. He broke Maidana ribs in sparring. And Maidana was much bigger than him. Everybody talk about Tank power, but Tank ain't, if you really think about it, Tank ain't really get his shit cracked for real. Hearns versus Bud, 147, 12 rounds. Who wins? Shit, I might go with Hearns on that one. Bud get a little greedy and run into that right hand, boy. So Mikey and Tank will go. Tank might be able to beat Mikey. I'm just saying. And he sparred Edwin Valero. I was going to bring that up, George. You know you're boxing. Mikey said he watched Valero knock out a few niggas before he got in there. It was like, what the fuck? You got Bud against Hearns? Shit, you really fuck with Bud, Anonymous. That is a scary matchup, though. Hearn was putting shit out at 147, though, man. Duran or Tank at 140, Duran. Pretty Boy Floyd versus current 35 division. He washes all of them. Ain't nobody at 35 could beat Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Especially right now. You're going to need a Duran or somebody. You not know in this current division, 135, Loma not beating Pretty Boy Floyd. Tank not beating Pretty Boy Floyd. Shakur not beating Pretty Boy Floyd. Shakur got skills. He great defensive special. He don't got the offense. He don't got the speed, the hand speed to keep up with Floyd. None of that. And Floyd might have had too much dog for Shakur. I ain't even gonna hold you. Them niggas not fucking. I'm trying to tell you, them niggas not fucking with Floyd. You think Duran will beat Tank? Yes. Shane versus Bud at 35. I don't think we seen I don't think that's fair because I don't think Bud became world champion at 35, obviously, but I don't think that was the best version of himself. Now, if we talking 47 Bud versus Shane, now we having a different conversation. You feel me? But 35, Shane might have got him. Shane was a spectacular lightweight. I think Bud I think Bud wasn't even. I think it was a little risky for Bud to even be at 35. Man, Valero used to spark shit, bro. Like world champions that we know of, he used to stop and spar. Then he stopped. No, Pretty Boy Floyd will beat every 35 that's currently in the division right now. All the top guys. Shakur, fucking Loma, Shakur Loma Tank. Who's the other one? Berinchyk, Keyshawn. Can't none of them niggas beat Pretty Boy Floyd. He was a different animal, bro. There's not he was a once in a he's Floyd was a generational talent, bro. Like a lot of niggas, they think of like the later version of Floyd. Floyd was a big puncher, hand speed, defense solid, great feet, extreme, bro. He make adjustments. He could counter punch. He could pot shot. He had a phenomenal jab. He go to the body good, pause. Like he literally could do it all. He could box the shit out you and you won't touch him. He could take you to the trenches. He could take you to the trenches and thug it out with you and fuck you up too. Like it didn't. He had it all. Salvador Sanchez versus Floyd. I don't know about that. But these are great conversations to have. Bud versus Floyd at 54. Well, Floyd didn't have much of a career at 54, man. You got to bring up 47 Floyd versus Bud. I think that's more fair. Bud only got one fight at 54. Floyd probably only had like 3 fights at 54, if you want to count the Canelo catch weight. But at 54, who he fought? Miguel Cotto and Oscar De La Hoya. And then he fought Canelo at 152 catch weight. Oscar De La Hoya or Crawford at 47. Y'all motherfuckers, bro. It's hard for me to go against De La Hoya at 47, though, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Tyson versus Frazier, I got Tyson. We talking prime Tyson. No disrespect to Frazier. I know it be coming across like I be hating on Joe Frazier. I don't respect. No, I just think B-Hop is greater than him. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing to take away from Joe Frazier. He definitely the bigger icon in Philly. There's big ass murals of Joe Frazier everywhere. Like he did more for the city. B-Hop never did shit for the city. But I think Mike Tyson, prime Mike Tyson especially, had too much. I think he had too much for Joe. Joe had a hell of a left hook, but I think Tyson's speed would have got him. Duran or Canelo at 168? I don't fucking know, bro. How did Duran really do at 68, though? Was he really Alfredo Gomez versus NUA? Somebody had asked this before. Gomez probably the greatest 122 to ever live based off of like his wins and knockouts and championship fights and shit like that. I don't think he ever lost at 22 neither. Gomez was a problem, bro. Gomez was a problem. I don't know. It's a great conversation, though. Floyd versus Leonard. Leonard had trouble with Floyd Sr., believe it or not, if you watch that fight. And when you watch Sugar Ray Leonard, he had trouble with a good right hand. But I don't know, man. Leonard's a scary matchup for Floyd. The dog, the hand speed, the boxing ability. Floyd in that generation period would have had a lot of trouble. I think Hearns would have probably beat Floyd. I don't think that shoulder roll would have worked against that tall motherfucker with that. Like if Shane Mosley cracking you with that right hand with that shoulder roll, I can only imagine what Tommy Hearns would do if he lined that shit up the right way. I do think Floyd would have beat Duran. And what makes me say that is that Benitez fight, man. Mind you, Benitez was a special talent, one of the most underrated, underappreciated fighters, one of the forgotten kings, the forgotten king of that era. But when I see what Benitez is able to do with Duran and stuff like that, I'm like, and I'm not, we'll never know. A lot of people, a lot of people may disagree. Yeah, Benitez was cold, bro. Benitez started fucking with drugs and wasn't training and all that type shit. So, that threw him off. And plus, if you read his book, he went through a lot of personal shit, with his father and things of that nature. From what I read. Not to give nobody any excuses, but listen, man, that's the youngest world champion of all time. Ain't nobody ever beaten that record, cuz. What 17-year-old right now winning a world title? Or what person putting a 17-year-old up right now to fight a world champion? It's not happening. I don't think that record will ever be broken. They call him the Bible boxer. They call that nigga the radar because he'll literally sit right in front of you and know what you're going to throw before you throw it and just make you miss so effortlessly. Benitez was a problem. Sugar Ray versus Floyd would have never gotten made. Two A-side divas argued about splits and who walks out first. Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard liked to have it his way too. And he always looked for the most advantages possible. Ray Leonard, he avoided. Everybody always talking about how Floyd avoided niggas. Ray Leonard avoided a lot of people too. Let's not get it fucked up. Yeah, let's get a couple more questions before I get up out of here, man. We had a great conversation today. I only wanted to do an hour. I ended up doing 2 hours. That's because I fuck with the nation, man. That's why. It's because I fuck with the nation. Mark not ready for the traffic tomorrow. Oh my God. I don't think my job gonna be affected, but I don't know. It's 50-50. Nah, Quip, I don't really bet on fights. I was just telling everybody earlier that I'm sick of hearing about parlays, and a lot of y'all niggas got addictions, man. A lot of y'all niggas need to stop gambling. Y'all niggas need to hit up 1-800-GAMBLING, you know what I mean, and get y'all shit together. You know what I mean? It seems like y'all, that's all y'all be wanting to talk about. Not you, Equip FC. I'm speaking in general. And I don't really do the betting and all that. And, I'm terrible at betting. I lose a lot of bets, cuz. So I don't really like losing. So before I do that, I'd rather not. Yeah, y'all never see them billboards like, got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLING. And they say some shit like that. Casinos say that shit right after they take your money. Got a gambling problem? Like, nigga, no, I got a fucking losing problem. Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard didn't fight Donald Curry. He didn't fight Aaron Pryor. There was a few niggas that, Sugar Ray Leonard never got in the mix with. Leonard said he trained 1.5 years for that Hagler fight. That lets you know how much he respected Hagler, bro. Is gambling a problem if you never lose? That's the question. I guess it ain't, because you wouldn't be losing no money. Shit, if you never lose gambling, it sounds like a motherfucking solution. It don't sound like a problem. Shit. Yeah, if you train a year and a half for one man for one moment, you know what I mean? Your respect for that motherfucker is through the roof, for sure. And you understand that if you don't put in that time, you can come up short. But I'll be on here tomorrow, man, to get into these fights. You feel what I mean? So be on the lookout for that. This was a great live. Thank you very much for everybody that tuned in. We had some great viewership as well. If y'all can hit the like button on the way out, share the video, like the video. We on the road to 3K, and we looking to hit that 2,600 mark, man. So your subscription, you being a subscriber to the channel can help me a lot. You know what I mean? So let's get it popping, man. This is where the real and knowledgeable lie. Until then, y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm out of here, man. Peace.